Welcome back to the Quiet Millionaire, where we don't chase wealth, we regulate into it. Ever notice how even rest feels like failure? Ever feel like slowing down is more terrifying than burning out? Ever wonder why urgency still runs your mornings, even when you know better? You already know the goals you set, the to-do list you guard, the deals you rate chasing. None of that moves the way you want if your body stays dialed to threat. Today, we're not talking mindset. We're addressing what's underneath your money behavior. Let that land. The game isn't about pushing through another block. It's about the patterns running under your conscious attention. Most people walk into the day with tension as the baseline. It's not a feeling. It's a filter. Your mind tells you to keep going, keep producing, don't let up. Pause and notice, under everything you do for growth, there's a background hum of restlessness. It isn't dramatic. It's just there, driving impulse, fueling the sprint. Here's what's happening. Quietly, you've tethered your nervous system to chasing, not receiving. Even when things are good, maybe you sold a business, landed a client, made that hire. Part of you doesn't unwind. The nervous system doesn't trust things are safe. Rest feels unfinished. Quiet moments bring more anxiety than meetings ever did. This isn't a personal failing. It's adaptation. That pattern, never letting go. Fearing stillness, it becomes your default because it's been rewarded. Burnout wears a costume of importance. You keep yourself in motion so you don't have to face the discomfort of neutral. This is where most people get stuck. If you've forgotten how to rest without collapse, understand, it isn't about becoming softer. It's about learning to regulate into stillness. Regulation is not relief. It's order. When your breath is slow, your thinking gets orderly. When your thinking is orderly, your nervous system lets you see incoming wealth instead of bracing for more loss. There's nothing to prove here. Just align and breathe here for a moment. This isn't theory. This is your nervous system adapting. Stay here as long as you need. We'll open a few quiet doors together. Here's the sabotage pattern. You've started to equate the number of hours you logged and the visible effort you spend with what you're allowed to earn. You praise yourself for staying up late on your laptop, not because you love the work, but because guilt creeps in the moment you imagine closing that tab and stepping away. It's become so normal that you don't even think of it as stress anymore. It's just how to get through a week. You check Slack at dinner. You keep your phone charging in the bathroom, so you can swipe through emails half awake in the steam. You say yes to a client you've outgrown, because the idea of losing momentum feels dangerous, almost like a threat. You apologize for taking a Wednesday off, as if rest needs a permission slip. This isn't you being ambitious. This is your nervous system braced for something to go wrong, running outdated scripts that say, if I slow down, I'll be exposed. If I stop pushing, I lose my edge. This is where most people get stuck. You wear urgency like it's a kind of discipline. You reward yourself for being anxious and call it momentum. Most people around you reinforce this. They're just as scared to pause. But survival mode can't sustain creation. What actually builds wealth is creativity, a kind of calm problem solving that your body can't access when it's braced for emergency. Let that land. Most people don't notice how even something simple, like scrolling business analytics in bed, promising yourself you'll stop at the next chart, keeps your body in a low hum of fight or flight. Over time, you start to think this is just the price of admission, but it isn't. Now that we see it, let's shift. Most entrepreneurs want to work smarter, but they skip the step that makes real intelligence possible. That's not mindset. It's breath. Wealth doesn't initially answer effort. It answers the regulated rhythm of your body. This is the first quiet shift. Your breath is your behind-the-scenes ledger. When it's rushed and shallow, you're operating in depletion, no matter what your numbers say. When it's steady and deep, you signal to yourself, enough is here. It's not philosophy. It's physiological accounting. Think of someone who's always checking cash flow, reworking their forecast, running numbers at midnight, but never once notices they haven't exhaled all day. That was me. And it was almost every seven-figure client who landed here, exhausted, blaming strategy, when the real chaos lived in their chest. Panic does not create leverage. A nervous system in disarray cannot access precise options or patient decisions, just like an untuned instrument cannot make music. You can't run a company from a body that's out of step with itself. When you slow your breathing on purpose, you buy clarity that hustle can't purchase. The frontal part of your brain, the piece that discerns, weights, sorts, and leads, comes back online. You don't see just more things. You see what matters. You stop chasing every applause and start noticing what isn't urgent. Here's what I want you to try right now. Put a hand on your chest, mouth closed. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Pause at the top for a count of 2. Exhale slowly through your nose for a count of 6. Repeat that 3 times. Notice how your body finds a new center. Quietly. This isn't a fix. It's a frame. Anchor this once. Repeat when it wobbles. That's the discipline. Let that land. It's easy to believe your worth is measured by what you produce, how many deals you close, the speed of your scale, the hours your name is at the top of PayPal, Stripe, or your own accounting dashboard. Maybe you learned early that slowing down meant someone would get ahead, or that pausing meant you'd be forgotten. But that logic is a contract with burnout. The more you equate your intrinsic value with volume or velocity, the more you starve your capacity to actually receive and hold wealth. This isn't about output. This is about possession. Here's where most people get stuck. If you only feel okay when working, you drive your nervous system into a loop of proving and depletion. The minute the inbox is empty, you refresh. The moment you finish a project, you take on another. Your body starts to brace for the next demand, even at night, even on weekends. That pace might build external numbers for a while, but internally, the vessel leaks. You know the feeling. Anxious at rest, relentless at work. The money comes, but it doesn't stay. The satisfaction lands, but it doesn't last. Let that land. Try this instead. Build deliberate pauses into your financial behaviors, not just your schedule. For 1 week, when you receive any revenue or payout, resist the urge to allocate or invest instantly. Let the balance sit. Do nothing for 24 hours. Notice how quickly urgency rises, the internal push to put the money to work so you feel productive again. Interrupt the loop. See if you can let money be still and stay present in that quiet. That's the discipline. This isn't a fix. It's a frame. Anchor self-worth in your ability to pause, not just your ability to produce. Wealth honors the nervous system that can stand still without fear, not just the one that can sprint without rest. Every time you pause, you build the container that can actually hold the good you've gathered. Build capacity, not speed. Instead of thinking you need to get good with money, start here. Your body needs to feel safe around it. Not excited, not anxious. Safe, like you would in a room where nothing's about to jump out at you. That's the game. If your system is hypervigilant, no amount of strategy or hustling will let you hold real wealth for long. Think about the last time you got a windfall, a bonus, a big client, a jump in revenue. Most people tense up. They start calculating what could go wrong. They spend faster. They guard harder. Or they panic and freeze their choices altogether. It's the same cycle as a relationship where you don't feel secure. When trust is thin, you're always looking for the next threat. You either cling smother the other person or withdraw, go cold, go distant. Money works the same way. Unless your system feels safe with what you hold, you will push it away or grip so tightly it dries up. Holding money requires the same nervous system steadiness as holding trust in a relationship. No drama, no volatility, just showing up again and again, day after day. Let that land. Most people chase the next tactic, but never repair their sense of internal safety. They want more flow, but the banks aren't strong. Peter Levine reminds us, a nervous system under threat can only loop. Survival. It can't build. It can't multiply. It can't hold joy or responsibility or risk. Same with money. Safety is the frame. Without it, you'll sabotage, overspend, undercharge, or shrink your goals. When your body knows, it can hold and compound more calmly. Here's what I want you to try. Notice when your hands want to grip, when your gut wants to bolt, when you wish for the next dopamine hit. Those are cues, not mistakes. Let your breath settle before you act. Anchor safety first. Build capacity, not speed. That's the discipline. Money stays where steadiness lies. Just like trust, it ripens with reliability. You already know this. It doesn't have to be dramatic to be true. Let's land this simply. Breadth over effort. Worth before output. Safety before scale. That's not a slogan. That's alignment. Build this in or keep cycling old noise. No more treating nervous system wisdom as theory. This is where quiet millionaires start. You might feel the urge to take back control, drive things harder, prove you deserve every dollar. But you already know what that buys. A scattered nervous system and money that won't stay. Sit with that for a second. That old model burns through both cash and clarity, fast. Here's what I want you to try. Instead, let working with your own body become standard, not luxury. You're not less valuable when you slow down. There is nothing to gain by outpacing your own ability to stay present. Let that land. It doesn't matter how big you build if your sense of safety wobbles. Money finds its home where your system is settled. That's the discipline. If this shows up in your week, if urgency spikes, if guilt follows rest, if enough still feels just out of reach, pause there. That's your training ground. Capacity is built in those pauses, not in the push. Anchor these. I create from calm, not chaos. I pause before I respond. My worth is not on trial. I permit safe growth over urgent gains. I let money belong, not just arrive. I trust slow rhythm over forced momentum. My nervous system is my first investment. I lead from quiet steadiness, not fear. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity. Quiet wealth is built on capacity.